Shh.
Hey, welcome everybody to Stealthy Elf Productions. We are here playing a very special session of Unearthed Inheritance. This is our session 30.5 Interlude. We are going to catch up with a little bit of scenes that would kind of be taking place between the last session of Unearthed Inheritance and then this current one. Before we jump in, let's say hello to our players this morning. It's morning for us. Let's start with Alec.
Hey everybody, my name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet. Tales Archived. I play Finn Reese here on Heroes of Histaeria Unearthed Inheritance. I also play Nrim on this channel in New World Rebellion. When I'm not here, you can find me as the Archivist over on Known Realm Selesh at Tales Archived.
Oh, love you. Thanks. All right, Button.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media. I play Cressida. And when I'm not playing them here in this show, you can find me over on Outlaws of Alkenstar, where I play Cze Peku, and in New World Rebellion, where I play Amanita. And when I'm not on this channel, you can find me over on Tales Archived in the Known Realms Telesh campaign, where I play Echinacea Belrose.
Thank you, Button. And guys, I'm going to be your GM this morning. My name is David. My pronouns are he, him. You can catch me here as the game master for all of our Heroes of Hysteria games. That's Unearthed Inheritance, Sandsea Saga, and New World Rebellion. And then I'm also the GM of our Outlaws of Alkenstar. Basically play a lot of Pathfinder 2nd Edition here. And I'm involved in all the other projects too. And when I'm not here, you can actually catch me over at Tales Archived in some upcoming projects on the horizon. Okay. Friends, family, players. Let's jump in. We are picking up after a hard day's work in the Sky Citadel, and still aloft above the ruined town of Damril. Although Damril probably looking a bit better in certain spots. Right, as the fishfolk are now coming back out and kind of reclaiming their town. A lot of this effort kind of led by Magnus. You know, Magnus, I think a few fishfolk were helping out over at the Sky Citadel, but a lot of Magnus's crew are pretty much focusing primarily on the town itself. All right. Friends, you are, we'll say, maybe just before dinner. Right? Axne has not called you all into the feasting hall yet. You have some time here at the end of the day's labors. You're standing out on the dark blue stone, this strange stone that's lighter than air. A twilit sky overhead. Cress and Finn. Two of you find each other, as you tend to do, in the breezeways of the Sky Citadel. I'll let you guys take it from here.
And if I understand it correctly, this is after a day of working on the ship attachments.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think Finn will just look at Cress, kind of curious because it was said that there were things to talk about. So I think he's very much got like as something as close to a washcloth as they have, and just kind of cleaning himself up to look as proper as possible for this conversation because a king was mentioned being here. Finn will just kind of waddle up, clearly tired. I mean, it's been a very long day, but eager to have the conversation, and he'll just approach. Evening.
Hey. Cress, looking more post-alchemy disheveled. They've got like maybe some singe on their eyebrows. There's like some dust that's still like charcoal on their cheek. Finn, I don't know, you always seem to know what to do, so I've got a question for you.
Takes a big breath. What's on your mind?
How do you bear bad news? My bedside manner is lacking.
You say that, but I don't necessarily think that's true. Look at how you talked to Peta. It was quite the gentle bedside manner. There was plenty of bad news there. But, true enough to your experience, you treat it with honesty and an open mind. An openness to whoever it is you're speaking to. You know, when I would tell... I had the same conversation in my youth with my sister. Particularly with the approaching bad news with Fieldguard, my father. You know, carved from stone, all that. Didn't really feel like chipping against him with bad news, but he gave me the advice I'm giving you now. Be honest and be open. And we'll kind of nudge his shoulder into them. You're not giving it alone. Also, you have a little... You mind?
Yeah.
He'll just take his thumb and rub the bit of soot off of their forehead.
Thanks.
Good for a meeting
How do
with
you
a
look
king.
sharp?
I look like this because I spent the last hour in the walk room just scrubbing.
You did amazing work today.
We all did. We all did. But thank you. I can take the compliment.
You half took it, but I'll let that lie for now.
I'm not saying I didn't do good work. I did. But everybody put in their part for the whole of it.
I can ask you, Cress will say as they start walking toward their destination. If you can just provide a steady arm for Gron. What you're all about to hear is not good news, but it is particularly bad for him.
A sturdy beam to rest upon.
Don't I know it?
I'll keep a keen eye out on Gron and I'll stay close to him.
Thank you for lending your strength in so many ways.
Thank you for the same. This isn't easy. I can see how shaken you are about it.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. They just kind of word salad the rest of the way to wherever they're rendezvousing with Anatole and Gron.
You, let's say, heading over to, imagine Anatole has something akin to, like, you guys had the war room. We'll say there. On the way, you do catch Gron, and you're able to kind of signal him over. He is very much relieved at your arrival because he, along with Chimney, Axney, and a couple others, are being told or being regaled with the tale of how Little John was knighted by Finn, as being retold by Little John, who is standing atop a railing, and he has an audience kind of cornered and is making all these grand gestures. And Gron sees the two of you across the way and slips out behind Axney. Perfect timing.
Oh.
It always is with Little John.
Honestly, mate, I mean, you're great and all, but that's got to be at least the 8th time we've all heard that story.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done it.
There's some understandable regrets. Well, shall we? your little trio, your duo that became a trio, make it over to the war chamber. Anatole's there talking to Pascal, and as you enter, Pascal seems to not really be moving away or anything, and then Anatole kind of looks at him, and the two and kind of gives him like a, and he says nods, and walks out.
Cress will tell Pascal as he's heading out where Farron is, like, on her way to dinner.
You turn that frown upside down. As Pascal was, a bit dejected. But then goes to musing, optimistic musing. Heads out the room, closes the door behind him.
Thank you for meeting me here, and I'm sorry for the secrecy. But this is your news. And I want to make sure that the only other ears that hear it are the ones that you so choose. They look to Anatole for like just a moment of strength. There is a century of Cress giving Anatole these looks before hard conversations.
Anatole looks back at you, and seeing the expression on your face, he was kind of leaning back as he was talking to Pascal, but now brings his attention fully to the room, leans forward, and says, "Well now, Cress, this sounds serious."
So serious as to feel impossible, but we can't think that way. And we have to move forward. They look at Gron. Do you want to take a seat, Gron?
Gron looks, excuse me, looks from you to everybody in the room, perplexed, walks over to a chair, and says, "Well, I'll get comfortable if that's your recommendation," and turns the chair around. His sits in it.
Cress will sit beside Gron and take his hand and tell everyone in the space. Last night, I entered the dream of Cuthbert, and in so doing, I believe I saw a vision. They look to Anatole, knowing that he has these experiences, or something like them. We saw the aftermath of what seemed to be a terrible battle, in which Byfor, squeeze Gron's hand tight, was a victim, and we saw it through the eyes I now understand of Kylon. Kylon was on the ground, and Bonzayed appeared, Thadril's human visage upon this world.
Gron squeezes your hand as you're speaking.
They hold him tight, and they're giving this information, and like you can see them fighting the impulse to disassociate and like 1,000-yard stare as they like will catch themselves like drifting and reimagining it and just make eye contact and shift their focus around the room. He said that the black and green aspects once again shade our world, and so the Lady of the Void creeps toward her power. And he told Rabulus, who was there taking care of Byfor until he showed up. He told Rabulus that they must kill the remaining aspects before they awaken. And the canary tattoos on Cress travel up their neck and circle it for a moment as it seems like Cress can't find the words, their voice trapped in their throat for a moment. He gave the task to Rabulus, not to Bifor. And he said he must reunify the fragmented souls of Tamarin's aspects. One of them, Gron. One of those pieces of souls. It was Tosadai. I'm sorry.
Finn will just put a hand on Gron's shoulder and squeeze Cress's other hand just steadily.
They squeeze it back. Harder, I think you can tell, than they're squeezing Gron's hand. They're trying to give comfort, and then in this moment, it's like a comfort conduit.
Yeah.
And Finn doesn't waver. The hand on Gron is steady and anchoring, and the same is true for Cress, because it's so obvious how difficult this is and how painful this news is to deliver. So Finn is being that sturdy pillar to lean on.
Gron was holding your gaze, Cress, and at the news of Tosadai, just completely deflates. The shoulders slump, the head kind of falls chin to chest. And if it were not for Finn being right there, may have fallen over, but Finn, now Gron is leaning heavily at your hip. And he just barely is able to choke out the words. He had him the whole time.
In the palm of his fucking hand.
He was right. He was right there. And Gron just sobs.
Cress will pull Gron into an embrace, and there's a strange moment where, not looking directly at him, his frame is identical to Lucavir's. And there's just a moment of shock, and then Cress holds him while he weeps.
Anatole, across the table, has a very stern look on his face. As he's... Cress, I think out of the corner of your eye, while Gron is in the grips of great sorrow, across the table, Anatole seems to be calculating. Anatole's face is hard as he is just focused on the scene in front of him. As the two of you lock eyes, you can just see that held in that gaze is a resolve to fight. Something that you've seen in Anatole before, when you guys would play I can't remember the name of the sport that Nigel proposed that was played in Zeladil. Right, but you'd see it
Air polo.
yeah, in more casual settings, right? You know, when he decides to take something seriously.
Mhm. Cress will meet that look and match it. They're holding this space for Gron
Yeah,
because the grief is unavoidable and better to feel it here and now.
yeah,
But they've had the day,
yeah,
and the fury and the resolve with which they spoke to Cuthbert after that vision.
yeah.
Anatole sees it matched as Cress looks back at him. And they will be gentle. They will wait until the worst of the tears subside.
I
So
think
what
Anatole
we know.
follows your lead there, just so you know.
They appreciate that because they can see him planning. They're like,
Yeah,
there's a gratitude for not barreling ahead.
yeah.
So Tamarind took Kylon for his own as well. And Rabulus has been charged with seeking out the remaining.
And that Gron does, and the shock of that revelation, Gron is jerked up and looks at you and just says, Cuthbert.
I won't let him. I will not let him. And I will not let him harm either of you. They'll look to Anatole and Finn.
Finn, as Cress looks from Anatole to you, you're just your angle, and then Cress, I think your attention kind of maybe naturally falling back to Cuthbert. I want to give Finn a little something here. Finn, at the mention of that, there's you catch just for the briefest moment a smirk on Anatole's face at maybe. Give me a perception here, Finn. We'll call this a sense motive.
I totally forgot we were playing a game. Give me like
Yeah,
2 seconds to get my character sheet up. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're good. Actually, I don't even have like my GM screen or anything.
I'm like, we're just settling in to have a conversation, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh yeah, number game.
Yeah.
Technically, there are things that may be checked.
See how embarrassed I just got? Beat fucking red on the cheeks and
no.
nose. I went,
ah! Oh no.
I'm sorry.
Cut.
Start it over.
Clean it in post.
So, what roll am I making? Sorry.
Perception for a sense motive.
Perception, understood. Guys, I had my sheet up the whole time. I swear.
Yeah. I picked it up from right here.
30.
Holy shit.
15 plus 15. Yeah.
Critical success. With that, you can tell that the prospect of a fight seems to momentarily excite something in Anatole.
Do I have a pretty good idea of what that something is?
Perhaps. Yeah.
I think it's the same. Yeah, it's Finn, and obviously whatever is correct or incorrect, like feel free to whatever, but Finn is immediately shot back to the day he tackled Cress, and like the excitement that he felt from Zephrine to be enacting like just raw physical violence.
Yeah.
And I think Finn's breath catches for a moment as he's just like, there's an immediate like concerned response. right? Like, we got to keep our wits about us here.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely something kind of primal in Anatole's expression for just a moment, right? Because you got a critical success here, I'm going to give you something else. There is a head tilt at another moment in Cress's telling of the dream, and that is at the mention of the black and green aspects. When Cress relays that information, Anatole was already pretty focused, but that got an eyebrow raise and a wait a second.
Like, okay. Like the way I'm understanding it's like, the players I've been looking for are now back on the board.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
something
okay.
like that.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's definitely a look of like, who is it? There's I can't remember the name of the character, but the scene that comes to mind is the character that's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. That's very
That's
interesting.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh, Jack Sparrow. Thank you.
Very.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a very much a Jack Sparrow sort of.
There are these own like
That's-
internal
yeah.
motivations that are completely outside of
Yeah.
the conversation being had here. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's It might not be just outside of the conversation because Cress is going to bring up.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, Farron.
Good transition.
Thanks, man.
We know that he is aware of Cuthbert. It is unclear to me whether or not he is aware of the two of you, Anatole, Fan. I imagine he is aware of Verania by virtue of the fact that she has taken over Muldan Ordan. And if I understand, that's very close to the 10th Pass.
No. 10th pass.
No.
Yeah, pretty. That's pretty quite far away.
Okay, is it closer than here? The
It is
geography is not fucked
closer.
up.
Yeah, it's closer. 10th pass is. Yeah, sorry. Verania is closer to you guys than you guys are to the 10th pass.
Yeah, so she's between. Verania.
No, you guys are technically between.
Oh, okay.
10th pass was up on kind of like northern border with Omeron.
Okay. The location in which I saw what he did. Rabulus, what he did to Kylon. It was the 10th Pass. I don't know the location or identity of the green aspect, though. Though there is a green storm.
A green storm?
Do you remember Little Pamania?
Oh, you're a gnome
Little
friend.
gnome, yeah.
Yeah.
She dreamed of a green storm.
Huh. Are you saying she's an aspect?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Huh.
Maybe. I don't know. If there were signs to look for, I wasn't aware of them yet.
Likewise. Either way, though, you say this. The black aspect. Verania
Yes.
has made a home in Muldan Ordan.
Yes, sadly, she appears to be working alongside the conquering host.
Well, that's certainly troublesome.
And, Gron, I'll ask you in this moment. A vision of the Axiomite Valu told us that Thadril was wanted for crimes against reality. When Finn and I were at the Tree of Dreams, Dwog, I overheard a fellow by the name of Volo de Muerto say that Shadar had been trapped by Thadril. Could that be the crime against reality? Or is there something you know that I don't? Some insight into what Thadril's done?
This is directed at Gron, right?
Mhm.
Gron kind of cleans himself up, sniffles, pats Finn on the chest as he writes himself. Just a little non-verbal thank you. Well, entrapping a god is certainly, I imagine, piss off a few people. The so-called self-proclaimed enforcers of reality in the Axiomites. Yeah. That'll rub them the wrong way. The way it worked, Thadril's plan. The aspects, much like the two of you, they reincarnate into different people throughout, ever since Shadar's been imprisoned. With Shadar's imprisonment and the subsequent extermination of dragons by the blades of the Brotherhood of the Gilded Canon, despite everything, these incarnations, they would reincarnate into different people. Typically, we notice people of great influence, people who commanded respect of others, or perhaps commanded fear of others. These were the types of individuals that these draconic spirits would seem to reappear in. And our job was to keep them from what we call awakening, which is where they can essentially completely embrace their draconic powers and, for all intents and purposes, they become a full-fledged dragon.
Were they still themselves? Or were they the spirit of that dragon?
We've tried our best to never let it happen, but in the instances that they did awaken, and it didn't happen often, the last being an aspect of the Red, seemed to maintain control of himself, but he was something of a madman to begin with, so it's hard to say whether or not that was the influence of the incarnation or otherwise. Or maybe that was just him. But
Thadril held on to Tosadai. Is there a world in which, had he not been held in the palm of Thadril's hand, Tosadai might have reincarnated?
The aspects of Tamarin are a bit different. They were Tiamat's Tiamat's aspects are something desperate, whereas Tamarin's was rather intentional. When Tamarin, the king Tamarin, one of Bahamut's favorite sons, when he was divided into aspects, it was voluntary. It was a sacrifice that he was making to split his soul in order to maintain Thadril's will. Each one possessed a sort of distinct essence of Thadril. For example, Tosadai. Tosadai was very... Each one sort of possesses a strange contradiction within themselves. Tosadai could be very charitable about some things, and yet monstrously greedy about other things. Whereas Cuthbert tends to be, what Lukavir would told me was that Cuthbert could be rather patient about some things, but then yet be prone to acts of great violence and wrath.
Vice and virtue.
That's the idea. That's what we all sort of believed. Rabulus's was... Well, Tamarin's was very much pride. Even continued to bear the name of the original.
Yeah. Seems like that ambition might have laid dormant.
So, if I have reason to suspect that with each aspect that Tamarind consumes, he would grow stronger.
I believe the same. I think that's why Thadril has sent Tamarind against us. And, it bears noting that Banzayed, that physical aspect of Thadril, when he appeared, he looked much stronger. However, he seemed to be holding the monarch in the palm of his hand, and suggested that he could not do this deed himself. He cannot face Shadar and the monarch.
Rest assured, if Shadar were released, she would be rather upset. She's not exactly
would be
known for
too.
her mercy. As for...
Nor is Thadril, it seems.
Nor is Thadril. Thadril believes the world and the people in it to be playthings. Nothing. He's incredibly selfish as far as gods go, and I've met a few.
Do you know, or have an idea of the whereabouts of the remaining two? Or have I? Well, hold on. Did I meet Muri and Destrian in the dream?
Yes. Yep. You would absolutely have met them. Yeah, they were all there.
Muri and Destrian. Perhaps I can reach out to them. Warn them.
That's a good idea. They do need to be... Someone needs to tell them.
Which one should I tell first?
Well, I've always liked Estrian more personally, but
I'll defer to you. I'll take that.
I like this person more. Go that way.
yeah, but
Listen,
But-
hard
Incredible.
choices have to be made, and I have no bearing on it. I'll take your word for it.
And a very easy solution.
yeah.
But I needed all of you to know that a god has set his sights on us.
Anatole just quickly chimes in and says, "Well, now, wasn't I to understand that you all helped this particular god already?"
Yeah. I don't know if there's any such thing as like a geisha or taboo that you can fuck a god up with for being an ungrateful shit, or if there's nothing two ways to Sunday to do about that.
But you don't think it would buy us a little bit of anything?
Not if he doesn't want it to.
And Gron backs you up there, Finn says, especially the aspects of Shadar.
He'd tell us he has just to kill us himself.
Mhm.
Are there any sort of laws that bind gods?
Well,
Surely the
people that
word of a god has to mean something.
the people that enforce those laws are currently attacking our world, unfortunately.
Cress looks down at the black spot on their hand. The fact that they're running around messing with small potatoes like us is frankly just testament to their ineffectuality.
The city of Axis, the plane of this god mind, their resources are vast. But they are themselves opposed. For there's a counterbalance. There are also, well, creatures of chaos. But I don't know if seeking them out as allies in a cosmic war.
No. No. No, as I understand it, best thing we can do right now is take those two enemies, and Cress on this battle map will take a little red marble of the monarch, and then some symbol of godhood for Thadril,
Mhm.
and kind of clink them together on the map. We know their goals, and we know what Thadril is trying desperately to keep under control. I say we do everything in our power to make these two problems for each other.
I tend to like the sound of that.
If they're busy fighting each other, then that keeps them off our case for a little bit, at least a little while longer. Who am I?
It's been a long day, Anatole.
Iraxes, is that you?
Hey, bud. I think keep them off our back. Keep them focused on what they should be fighting anyway. This was never the world's fight. Thadriel brought it here. He brought the ruin of the Red Moon. And in its light he was reborn. And like a child who trusts their father, we thought he'd care for us once that deed was done. But he is no father. He is a blight and a leech. And he will not take Cuthbert from me. I think when Cress says that, unwittingly, their soaring shape takes into effect and dragonfly wings sprout from their back. And just a little bit of gold scaling flushes the cheeks and then vanishes. Cuthbert is my boy. He is becoming a dragon of the dream. He does not belong to Thadriel anymore.
Gron puts an arm around you, Cress, and squeezes you tight. He says, "Well said, well said. I promise, Cress. I couldn't protect Tosadai, but I'm going to do everything I can to help protect Cuthbert. And you." He smacks Finn on the belly.
Finn looks directly into Cress, and his eyes swear a vow that words need not be said. He'll be there. He will protect Cuthbert. He will protect Cress. He will be there. And it's not going to happen as long as he's there. That's what he wants to believe. But he's going to fight for it, whether it happens or not.
That terrible and long history of the chromatic dragons being set against the metallic, and the metallic hunting the chromatic. I implore it to stop with us. The dragons were wiped out to extinction, and I'm of the belief that Thadriel did that intentionally. He reincarnated as a star dragon. He wanted that power for himself alone.
And we were the pawns he designed us to be.
Anatole speaks up and says, "He was jealous. The way Zin tells me, the story of the Draconists and their beliefs, that they have a theory, at least, of why, of one of the reasons, probably among many, that Thadriel imprisoned Shadar. And that is, well, as he said, he's not a father to this world, but he might fancy himself such. And Shadar will play mother in this little story of theirs. Now, like you said, that war, chromatics versus metallics, very likely upon Thadriel's intention, but at least what he did not intend was to be unable to create more dragons as replacements. See, that power is Shadar's. Only the mother can choose if it's going to be having hatchlings, you see.
So when Thadriel hatched at the Tree of Dreams, was that Shadar's blessing?
Shadar, as far as I understand it, has been rather unable to bestow blessings for quite some time. The Draconists also think that there's the imprisonment of a deity like Shadar has had unintended consequences upon our world.
Like what?
Well, for one, well, this isn't my theory so much as it is Pascal's, that Shadar's imprisonment might have something to do with the fact that we elves can't dream.
Or die.
The god of death being imprisoned, a few things are going to fall through the cracks, it seems, and the Farian of Elven Souls might be one of them. Along with the repopulation of dragons. There's balance. That's the core tenet of the Draconists' belief system, is this system of balance. Gron sits and he thinks, I'd never thought of it that way.
From what I gather, you were brainwashed for a few thousand years.
I suppose I'm Gron is thrown for a loop.
I say that with no judgment, Gron. I trusted that fucking god too. I don't know why a person wouldn't.
There's a lot of people in this world that trusted that god. And now it seems he's letting all of us pay the price for it. I think Anatole and Gron, pretty much everybody sitting in that contemplative silence of what this all
Means.
means.
I want to
Anatole,
say-
sorry, go ahead, please.
I want to say that I trust you all, and my hope for all of us is that we can build a world where the powers that be cannot direct us, cannot take our agency from us, and cannot demand our lives in his service.
A world free of puppet masters.
Yeah. So what we got to do is find ourselves a few world builders, is what you're saying.
I know one of those.
That was a figure of speech more than anything.
Oh.
That's been my goal since I left home. To preserve what was special and to build atop what was broken. It's just more broken than I thought. But today was anything. Prove that I'm willing to work hard. There's plenty to build. Yeah, I think Finn's just very contemplative. Like, this is newest for Finn. So I think that there's a lot being said that he grasps, but necessarily doesn't understand, and he's understanding it now. And he's just like, it's the weight of anger and responsibility, like balancing in his soul. Like what's the thing that's going to take precedence here? And Finn is fighting for that to be responsibility.
And Anatole muses out loud, Finn, as you are weighing these responsibilities. Well, somehow I feel like if these aspects of Shadar are also targets, present company included, it might be worth tracking the rest of them down. Gron, Cress, next to you, there's still there's a tensing of the jaw. The idea of the aspects of Shadar coming together. Again, that indoctrination.
Not having that same indoctrination, I think Finn poses a question, and it's just, to what end? Isn't it more dangerous if we're all together in one place? Ripe for the picking if Thadra wishes.
Well, I think separate, we're perhaps more vulnerable. I don't know this Rabulous fella, but from what y'all describe, if I were to come head to head with someone of his caliber, well, I think I would like someone like you by my side, Finn. And it sounds like there are others quite like us. Or with the very least, with a vested interest in our survival. Or their own survival.
Yeah, I think the thing in this moment making Finn very uncomfortable is that, like, eagerness for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's really giving Finn pause, but he doesn't want to shift this group conversation into an altercation of any kind, or like accusational or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I think he just sort of keeping people together and surrounded by a safety net would beget safety. I can agree to that.
Cress is musing. They don't know what Finn has seen in Anatole's expressions. They don't have the context. So I think with a troubled but hopeful expression, as they lean over that table, they'll clasp Anatole's forearm. I was there for Verania's birth. Lukavir and I saw it. Saw the mask upon her face. And though Lukavir had been trained his entire life to do something about seeing that mask, he walked away to let her live her life in its freedom and fullness. What she does with that life, I cannot say, and it does trouble me that she seems to work alongside the conquering host. But I see the desire in you to unify, and I remember Lugavir's choice to let life unfurl. And I do want to respect that.
Anatole shifts and clasps your hand properly. Says, "That's what I want. I think all of us are part of this world, and we are all offered a chance to live and thrive. The idea that a god put together a team with the sole purpose of eliminating a select few, and that leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth." Gron speaks up from the back, from nearby. He says, "Lukavir was the best of us. That's clearly true now."
Oh.
He did the thing that we all should have done.
You did it eventually.
I didn't walk away. I just gave up. I just stopped trying, and then next thing I knew, I didn't have it in me anymore. But Lukavir, still remember what Rabulus did to him when he tried to when he walked away.
What'd he do?
They fought terribly. Rabulus and Tamarin, Lukavir and Cuthbert. That's when the two truly fell apart. And they were, all of us were close, but they were the closest. More like brothers than any other pairing of us. Anatole, and says, "Well, ultimately, if these other aspects of Shadar, I think they also deserve to know that someone's out to get them, at the very least. As for the conquering host, well, perhaps, maybe, a meeting or something. Maybe we can convince them to turn a new leaf. I'm sure not all of them are quite as bad as they're made out as they appear. Maybe there's some good ones among them, and maybe there's still a place for them. There was a place for them before everything went to shit. I imagine there'd be a place for them afterwards."
We could try to see if Lesh Proudmask is still alive. As I understand it, there may not be much talking to Vrakaron Shred. But I am with you. I do not wish to fight. I do not wish to destroy this world by fighting my fellow denizens of it. I wish for a world in which understanding and shared cause can win the day over the forces that seek to play with us.
Anatole nods and says, well then, the way I see it, before us we have, he looks to all of, Finn and Gron as well. Before us then we have a shared objective of liberating and rebuilding this world. I say we get to it.
That's the spirit. They, like, the hands that are clasped, Cress is, like, vibrating.
Anatole, amidst the vibration, Anatole kind of leans in, bumps a shoulder with you, Cress, and whispers in your ear and says, I may not be the wisest king, but every now and then, it seems I might fall into a good decision once in a while. You're gonna make a great hand. A steady hand.
Cress steadies their physical hand. However you choose to be your hand alongside you. I trust you. Give yourself a little credit, Anatole.
He winks at you and says, well, maybe after I earn something, after I earn a thing or two, then maybe credit will be due.
That's Titus speaking.
Oh no.
They both are like, ugh.
Okay. Anything else in this scene? If you guys want, I would say Anatole. Gron will probably peel off after a while. Go take a bit of space. Anatole as well. If the two of you would like a moment to confide or recollect with each other.
Finn would like to speak to Anatole alone.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. He'll turn to Cress and I'm just gonna take a moment to ask Anatole some questions, if that's all right.
I'll leave you two dragon holders.
But I'll come find you soon after.
We have
All right.
this. Finn. I love the idea of this being another walk around the Citadel.
Yeah.
Like
I'm walking
Anatole
him to
and
his room again.
Yeah, exactly. This is where Anatole and Finn do have their conversations. Is on the move.
Yeah.
These long walks around the Citadel.
Makes sense, frankly.
Very King and I.
Yeah, really. So, how are you feeling after that revelation?
Well, Finn, the unfortunate part about being me is I feel tired most of the time. But in regards to that meeting in particular, I guess it, to be quite honest, I feel somewhat validated. I had my suspicions about Stadrill and everything we've been taught by these Erosian priests over our lifetimes. So, yeah, I suppose I feel somewhat validated. Listening to Zen and Viraxis. I was cautionary this entire time, you know? You want to keep an open mind. Maybe I'm just finding a reason to keep a little less open now.
Honesty and openness is never a bad thing, Anatole.
Well, that's mighty good advice.
You gave it once already tonight.
Look at you. A philosopher then, Mr. Reese.
I long to teach. But
Teacher.
this is not a world ready for that yet. Too much to be done. What are teachers if not builders, if not workers?
Well, from what I understand, you are quite the builder. Pascal tells me you made rather light work of the adjustments to the Sky Citadel. Not alone, but...
No, definitely not alone, and, well, they say you do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Building has always come easy. Crafting has always come easy. It's just a part of who I am. Growing up in the Nexenkov, son of the chief, many responsibilities placed upon my shoulders, and thankfully they're much broader now than they were then.
Carrying weight will do that to one after some time.
You should know I am talking to a king.
Yeah. The responsibilities thrust upon me are... well, let's just say I was rejected as the bearer of those responsibilities. Quite summarily, and kind of traces the scar on his chest. Whereas you, Master Reese, as a builder and bearer of responsibilities, it seems that you garnered quite a bit of faith.
That came later, and I am master of nothing. I am just a man. You see, you sought kingship. I ran from being my father's successor. Feared to never live up to his visage. He's a man that can make a mountain kneel. And I am me. And I wouldn't want to be anything else. But the garnering of faith is something done with hard work. And that came with lots of sleepless nights in the Ironwood. Too many dreams to keep me restful. So I worked for those around me.
Dreams can be a bitch.
I don't remember the last time I had a good dream.
Sorry to hear that.
That's all right. This is your Sky Citadel. You are its king. Do I have your permission to speak freely, Anatole?
Why, of course, Finn. Very much like to hear your open and honest thoughts.
In there, discussing it all, you seemed eager for a fight. Excited by the prospect of one. And I was curious. In that moment, was Viraxes whispering in your ear?
Well, now, Finn, you certainly are a perceptive fella, aren't you?
You have to see a lot of things to build something correctly. All the flaws, all of the chips, all of the scrapes. I do my best, but often I fall short.
So tell me, Finn, do you see seeking a fight as a flaw? Does that stand out to you?
Can be. Not saying it is, but it can be. It was just a stark difference to the other emotions in the room.
Different perspectives, you know? And well, my understanding is whether or not we seek a fight, whether or not we want to, fight might be upon us nonetheless.
Oh, I have no doubts that the fight is upon us. It has been since Thadril brought us to Dwog. Made us complicit in his scheme for power. The fight is here. It's been here.
Anatole stops and looks at you. And he does kind of one of those things where he almost like leans back and looks you up and down, taking in your armor, dented. I know you've described a lot of Finn's accessories as being well worn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's
Used.
anything new on him.
Yeah. He looks at you, Finn, and he says, well, now, Finn, before I answer your question, let me ask you this. This fight's been upon you for what looks like quite some time. How do you feel about it?
This fight?
This fight? The prospects of others? You are a good builder, that's true, my friend, but you certainly wield that axe with some decent proficiency as well. Your
And
father's influence, I imagine?
Oh, yes. Strict teaching. Every morning, before the sun comes up, we were in the field and he was ruthless.
I'm sorry, Alec, before you jump in, continue. I just want to say, what's Finn's expression as he's thinking about those memories of his father and those trainings?
It's not uncaring. I don't know. It's a complex mix of like, there's a fondness for them because it was time with his family,
Sure.
and he doesn't know the status of his family's safety or anything like that. So even a memory where it might not be the happiest, he's like, well, at least I was with my dad. But then there's also the it's almost the you motherfucker. Like he whipped me into shape, but he did prepare me for the unimaginable. So there was I think there's a bit more tenderness there than I think even Finn anticipates.
Can Anatole get Can Anatole get a?
Yeah, absolutely. No. No.
Okay. As you are telling these stories of your father and your training, Anatole has a calculating eye, that same calculating eye as the two of you are kind of paused in these breezeways, as he's kind of observing you.
The most important lesson I've learned is to be prepared for a fight and not to seek one out. Because when you prepare, you're as ready as you can be. But when you seek one out, what you're looking for is the fight. And you might not like what you find there. I understand completely wanting justice for what's been done to you, what's been done to me. The fear that creeps over Cress, over the unsuredness of Cuthbert. The tragedy that Gron was... the tragedy that he learned about today. I want justice. But I want to prepare for what comes to us. And I understand it. You're a king. You have to be more proactive than I do. This isn't judgment, it's pure curiosity. Because when Zephrine whispers in my ear, the people I care for get hurt. I become reckless, I become careless, and I am worried that the same may be true for a king who needs to be more proactive and who needs to lead and protect people.
Anatole looks at you. And a smirk kind of, plays at his lips. And he says, Well now, Fenris, I appreciate that counsel. As I appreciate the counsel of many. As for what is to be done with this in terms of the upcoming fight, I can assure you I am considering numerous options, and at least for now, I won't leave many things beyond consideration. But as for how I feel about the prospects of such a fight, I'll be honest with you, Finn. The idea of liberating our world, of cutting the strings from puppet masters, of keeping us unbeholden to gods that look to leave us footing the bill for their crimes. Well, now those are prospects that do excite me.
That I completely understand.
Well, I do enjoy our little walk and talks, and I'd like to say that I think this is rather mutually beneficial in terms of understanding one another. Coming to anyways.
We're both leaders of this world. Whether we chose it or whether it was placed upon our shoulders. It is up to us not to become the tyrants that they are.
Well, that is true, Mr. Reese. Well, that is true, Fenris. You are... We don't want to trade one monster for another.
No. Thank you for your time, Anatole.
Thank you. I look forward to our next walk.
They keep getting more interesting, don't they?
Don't they just?
Well, good night.
Okay.
And Finn stabs him in the back. I'm kidding.
Finn pulls out you.
I cut his head off.
Like, are you gonna fight or kiss about it? What's happening?
I don't know.
Ooh, okay.
That's fun. Thanks, David.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like these two dragons.
They're like two cats that are just like circling each other.
Yeah, just like
it's starting to go like.
Yes. Okay, guys, let's see. I have one more thing that I'd kind of like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And but is there anything else, anyone else that you guys would like to talk to, or any other conversations with Finn and Cress?
Yeah,
I got 20 minutes. So, yeah.
Oh, you got 20 minutes. Go ahead. Finish your
No.
thing.
No, just I wanted to know David's thing, but also if you have something, please.
Oh, that was just Finn. Finn was going to seek out Cress, like he said he was going to after the conversation with Anatole. So I don't know if that leads perfectly into your thing, David.
My thing is a dream thing.
Okay.
So let's do the awake stuff first.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make it quick. Finn will, just seek out Cress, and I imagine they're in their space. I mean, but you tell me.
You find them in the aviary with all of the hippogriffs recollected, and via Wild Song, they are learning about the day's efforts in teaching birds to fight the axiomites. If Cress is in there chirping very excitedly with each of them and like giving head nuzzles and like rub downs for the hippogriffs.
Veritas is there as well. Not participating, right? But very much interested in the watchings of going ons and stuff. And I think Veritas has a wisdom with this advanced age of, maybe if there was like any sort of like misinterpretations between Cress and the birds, Veritas is there to kind of bridge that gap a little bit as well.
Cress bows to Veritas in thanks.
I think there's a reciprocated bow from the old rock.
Finn will come in attempting his best chirp, but he'll stop after like 2 or 3. He's like, okay, I'm done. He's like,
hey, you know what?
Oh, the bathroom's over there.
We'll put never mind. That's fine. That's perfect. I was gonna have you roll for it, but Button, we're gonna keep that as the canon.
The bathroom. Okay, well now I know how to ask where the bathroom is as a bird.
Great job.
Thank you. I love language. I just wanted to steal you for a quick moment, if I could.
Yeah. Steal away.
I just wanted to say you did a great job. It was hard, but you handled it with grace and plenty of strength.
Thank you for being there, for Gron, for me, for Anatole. I'm glad you two were talking. I can't imagine that shared experience.
It differs a lot, but we have a shared experience now, but we are very different people, and we're just getting to know each other.
I'm sure, yes, you are very different people, but I don't know. I think you two might find you have more in common than you initially expect. And you see Cress says that with all the love in their heart and none of the understanding of the vibe that
All of the love
Finn
and
has
the
experienced.
context.
Yeah.
I hope so. But that was all. I just wanted to commend you for today.
It's hard when there's... It's hard, you know? when someone's stomping the shit out of you and he's too big, get him off.
Mhm.
There's nothing we can do about that, Drill. I know that. He's a fucking god. I know that. But it's nice to have a path forward. And hey, if I find the time, maybe I'll pick Gron's brain a little bit more when he needs time. But I like to pick his brain about how Shadar got trapped. Because I think some other gods could use some fucking trapping.
Agreed. My brain had gone somewhere similar. Listening to Gron about Shadar, so we're of the same mind.
Thank you for the encouragement. And thank you for your faith. You gotta know. You gotta know that I reciprocate it.
I do. I know. I feel it.
Thank you for your caution, too.
Well, when you spend most of your days looking out for the tops of doors, you gotta walk with a little bit of caution.
Not here.
Not here. This is great. I'm going to return to the surface, and it's going to be a lot of thunk, thunk, but,
Oh, no.
the caution will come back to me. I'll let you get back to it, but I do have faith in you, and I know you have that same faith in me.
Cress presses a soothing toddy into Finn's hands so that your dreams might be a little more restful tonight.
Ugh. Yeah, there's just a sharp inhale and a very, relieved exhale. Squeezes their hands around the vial and just... I need better dreams. Thank you.
I've got a laundry list of people to reach out to for the next few nights, but maybe sometime I can help guide one of those dreams to safer harbors.
I would not say no to such an offer.
And Cress will embrace Finn, give a playful dunk 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 against his armor, and playfully, but also fighting impulses, make the moment playful, and then
Yep. And Finn will reciprocate, and heading back, he'll flap his arms like little wings, and as he's leaving, ask where the bathroom is again in Bird, and just walk out. You're muted, baby.
Whoop. Okay. Tell you what, we're gonna call our session here, but there was something I realized I forgot to ask Finn last session anyway. So since we have this,
Okay.
Finn,
Yes.
Olgrin Bronzefist, at the beginning of the day, would have approached you. And so just a quick little retroactive conversation. Olgrin would have kind of come up and been I don't remember the voice for Olgrin, so we're gonna go... No, that's Magnus.
Hello, Captain Magnus!
We'll just say, Mr. Finn, your weapon. It's, Can I see that?
Can I ask for what purpose?
It's of ironwood origin. Am I...
Yes.
I thought so. If you want, I know you're going to be busy today, doing some crafting projects of your own. If you'd like, I could temper it. There's something to do, and at least continue to help how I can. At least your weapon, I would be able to perhaps make it a bit more effective for any upcoming bouts.
Finn all of the Brahm arbiters, everything that Finn has cut in twain just rushes through his mind. He's like, I honestly gonna start feeling sorry for them if it gets any better.
Well, it would only last for about 3 days or so, but...
Oh, okay. All right, well, that's fine. Can I just do a quick sense motive? Only
Sure,
for
sure.
the reason that Finn is really protective of the axe. Just
Sure,
given how he
absolutely.
got it and like the intention behind it.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah. 30, Jesus. Yeah, he looks legit. He seems to be... Yeah, for one, he
I
does seem to
figured,
be
but-
rather grateful already. And
Yeah. Finn will present you in like a very regal fashion and just take good care of it. It has served me
I
well.
will. You'll be able to pick it up by the end of today.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Dwarven smiths have a thing. I was looking through the like stat blocks and stuff, and Dwarven smiths actually have a temper armament downtime ability. So actually, hang on, I'll offer you, because it doesn't actually just have to be the axe. It could be armor or shield, which would increase the hardness by 1, or it could be the weapon and then give you a +1 circumstance bonus to damage rolls.
I'll do the +1 damage circumstance bonus to damage rolls.
Okay, so it'll be done today. By the end of the day here, Finn, you
Perfect.
have +1 circumstance bonus to damage rolls for the next 3 days.
Let's go. Thank you. Love that.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and I think what we'll do is we're going to call our session here, and we're going to actually go ahead and we're going to do that dream stuff that we teased there at the beginning of our next session.
Whoa!
Ah! You scared me, sorry.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. No.
Okay, all right, so I'm going to say we're going to call our session here so I can go change my pants.
Oh.
You
What?
scared me.
Oh, that one really threw me off.
That's all right. It was a bit of a delay. It was almost
I
a
liked
callback
it.
joke. Thank you, Button.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we're gonna go ahead. Let's do some outros. Let's start with Alec.
Hey guys, if I'm known for anything, it's making it so that people need to change their pants. I played Finn Reese for you tonight. Holy fuck. I also played Rim in New World Rebellion. You can also find me over at Tales Archive in the Archivist and Known Realms Telesh, and I do some other stuff over there. Thank you, goodbye.
Button.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media, and I play Cressida, who I've decided isn't gonna clock any tension between the people they love.
Oh, you're brilliant.
And when I'm not playing them, you can find me in Outlaws of Alkenstar. I almost said Witch Airs tonight, and then I realized that never mind, time.
Yeah.
It aired. And you can find me in the World Rebellion as well. And when I'm not here, you can find me over on Tales Archived, where I play Echinacea Belrose in Known Realms Telesh, and another character in an upcoming project. That's me.
Thank you, guys. And everybody, I've been your GM. My name is David. My pronouns are he, him. And you can catch me here as the GM of all of our Pathfinder 2nd Edition games. That is our whole Heroes of Histaeria series. That is also our Outlaws of Alkenstar actual play, which would have aired its second session by the time you're watching this. So go check it out. Give it a little bit of love. And then you can catch me also over at Tales Archived in some upcoming projects just on the horizon. All right. You guys have a great weekend. And I think if my plan is to have this go on the day or so before the next Unearthed Inheritance, check out the next Unearthed Inheritance very soon. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Shh.